It's been a while since I uploaded channelings, and finally here comes a video with a new one. I sat down a few days ago and I got some entities that I don't know by name actually. They never presented themselves, but they spoke about different aspects of how to view life. Well, you can listen yourself. Before I start, I wanted to say to explain how it works for me, because I guess it works differently for everyone, and it's been a journey to accept that I have this and to actually understand that it is a gift and not just a voice, or that I'm just talking to myself, because a few of these things, at least, I don't have it consciously. So no matter what you believe, it's a different state of mind, meditative state in a way, where I access something else than my normal consciousness. I don't think about these things that come through. So it's also fun for me to see what happens. Um, how it goes is that I come down, wind down in a way to take more and more a back seat, if you have a reference in a car, and to see someone else driving, which is a bit scary to let go of control, because the scary part is like, what if I say something that I don't agree with, that the words that come out, because and I don't know what's gonna come out in the beginning. The first sentences I hear, as normal thoughts, I hear the the sentence in advance, in a way. But after a few sentences, I lose that, and then I hear only like a few words in advance, and then it comes to just like one word in advance, more or less. So uh, there is, in the beginning they say like, okay, we're gonna talk about three things, and as I say it, I'm like, oh wow, like, what if they don't, and they only say one thing, like one topic, and I will sound very weird or crazy, that I say um, one thing first and then I change my mind or something. But in a way, I speak whatever comes. I'm sure everybody can do this. It's just a matter of trust. So I'm playing around with this. So also, I don't know whom, or who this is for, because I heard this conversation already. I don't need to record it and upload it really, but I think it's fun. It's one part is it's fun for me to just record and play around with. I have a mic here, I have a camera here, but I'm playing around, and it's cool if somebody actually enjoys this content, or gets something out of it. If you do, I'm happy if you share it in a comment or a like, or at least some kind of feedback. But yeah, it's fine otherwise as well. Cool. Um, one. Let me see my notes. Yeah, exactly. In the speech, there are two references to my own life, and I just want to clarify them, so you know what it is about. The same day as I did this channeling, I watched a video on YouTube randomly about computers, and about tertiary, or I don't know how to pronounce that, tertiary logic. So instead of binary on two, you have tertiary with three. So there are computers that are built this way. So I just looked up, and they make a reference to that. And they make also another computer programming reference, which is called implementing interface. So just don't be scared. It means to manifest something in practice, in a way. Yeah, that's it. So let's get started. And I'm just gonna read, and you can relax. There's like not much to see really here. I'm just gonna read. We have traveled a long way to speak to you. You are making good progress in practicing channeling. There was a time when you were afraid to speak with your own voice, and this is about to change. And this, in part, has already changed. We are the ones with a voice without a body. We don't need a body because we live in a different plane of existence, where the distance between molecules is so large that our body becomes useless to speak of. We have come to speak about several topics. Triangular notion is one of them. Let us explain. All comes in three, in triplets, hence triangular. You have today discovered or rediscovered the ternary logic and the computers that can be built using that. This is nothing new and has existed as a logic way before the computer prototypes were built in the 50s. In a similar fashion, you can use triplets and triangular language to enhance your capacity of understanding, of handling information, of delivering information and messages across to other people. For example, if you think of the case two people arguing and they seem not to be able to find a common ground, the situation is diverging, and in the end, not having reached to each other, they part with feelings of anger, disappointment, confusion, frustration, etc. Now, consider a third mediating part, which acts as a translator, as a buffer, as a bumper, as a damper, something that eases the energy flow, harmonizes. So the two parties are, in general, have easier to reach understanding between each other. Such seeking of common ground is the point of having a third point. And that is also the point or the function of your three bodies, as you know them, mind, body, and spirit. There is in between the two extremes a third that, in programming language, implements the interface. Or in family language, between two parents, there is a child that brings forth, that merges the culture of both, the genes of both, birthing something new, and at the same time, a harmonious combination of the two. Triangular notion can be used in all fields to increase harmony and information flow. This is our first message. Our second message is on the topic of arches, bridges, and the illusory nature of the idea that the fastest route between 2 points is a straight line. In a simplistic world, that is the case. However, as you know from a simple example using the curvature of the Earth, a straight line on a map does not mean the fastest route on the Earth. As you see from the examples of how airplanes are flying over the Atlantic Ocean. Also, the fastest idea often results in confusion, contradiction, feelings of hurt, frustration, or sadness. That is, when other emotions and needs are not being met by something going too fast, by someone not being heard. And so the concept of the straight line, in a way, cutting with speed, is many times preferred to be replaced by a smooth arc, a carrying curvature, a slow hug, taking into account more factors than just linear thinking. Building bridges between different understandings, between different cultures, and of course, just in physical term, between different landmasses, is not a simple feat. And here humanity will be greatly helped by new discoveries in this field, such as circular language or round language. There are many terms for something that you, the channel, has already gotten a taste of long before this challenge is taking place. We are trying to get across our points of reference that are applicable in all fields, be that dealing with the physical world, dealing with intercommunication with other beings, or intra-communication dealing with your ideas, emotions, and physical health. Building bridges is an art form, and the result is guided by the reference points that are the immutable base points, the foundation on which you safely can stand and build. It may happen in conversation that one person begins to build castles in the sky with no solid foundation from their own understanding, or from the understanding of the listener or listeners. In such cases, the castle in the sky either remains as an airy, fluffy, and clear object, light enough to not be dragged down by gravity, or it comes smashing to the ground by even the slightest poke of contra-argument. Which reference points you choose in conversation, in physical construction, in inner dealing with emotions, greatly affects the outcome in terms of quality, in terms of length of time to completion, and in terms of perceived effort and happiness. So learn to choose them wisely, practice, as this skill, this art form, applies to virtually all topics in life. And note that triangular notion with a midpoint and building bridges without a midpoint are all about seeking stable foundations, being grounded, seeking common understanding, and using flow, aesthetics, and the law of nature to create beauty. That was our second message. Our third message has to do with the one point, the singularity, the oneness, the eye of the storm, the heart in all matter, the consciousness beyond all time and space. Our society functions much more like a wave than individual particles. From outside, you would see, if you could, a soup of interference rather than differentiable particles of matter interacting with each other. Our seeking of unity, clarity, and the joy of being together led us here. Our interaction with the universe and all beings, including you, is a slow merging instead of a hard bumping. What we have discovered after leaving the usual, what we were used to, physical world, is that we don't need coordinates like left and right and up and down, and this is 100 meters away and this is 2 light years away. All we need is that center point, that one foundational vibration. We're all able to come so close to it that we almost merge with it as a whole society. That is why we more look like a wave than individual particles. This is an indescribable freedom. There is suddenly so much individual free space we have never dreamt about before. We're able to expand to almost full capacity, and still it feels like there is more to learn, further to expand, deeper to grow, more to harmonize with each other. Our message to you is a reminder to keep expanding. And if you think that you have expanded enough, know that there is always more room to expand, more room to grow. For you as a whole being is much more than you can think of. In a way, you don't fit into the body that you experience as yourself. The more you grow and expand, the easier it will be to be yourself. You can liken it with upgrading hardware or software, where you get more memory or a bigger hard drive. And if you don't know in which direction to expand, or you fear the unknown, we believe it is enough to find that one spot inside of you beyond time and space. And if it is too hard or too alien to search for oneness inside, go and look outside. Look for a representation of harmony for you, of beauty, of that which contains the most magnificence or flow, and stay there. In reality, you're looking for or you're looking at a reflection of yourself. You are inspiring yourself. You're reminding yourself of who you really are. This was our last message. We thank you for the opportunity to connect, communicate, and co create. We are in harmony with the one and the all. That was it. This channeling, guys, when I actually did it, took me almost 40 minutes. I'm sitting and I'm pausing, I'm floating somewhere else. Uh, and then waking up and kind of and seeing what I have or listening and then transcribing all of this and seeing it, I'm like, oh my god, have like I talked this much? Tell me what you think. It's cool if you stay all the way to the end of this video and listen actually, so I'm super curious. And would be cool to hear you channeling and uploading. All right, see you in the next one.